firecrackers. It was that type of quick pop and the same decibel and the same tone and tenor of a firecracker. But everybody recognized within short order it was gunfire, and they hit the ground. We spoke to a lady who was in the front row, just steps away from the former president, who also described seeing a teardrop-style form of blood on the side of his face and a little more around his ear. And she heard him say, "Gotta get my shoes," to Secret Service, she says, before the former president was ushered off the stage. In Butler County, this is a fairgrounds. This is a farm fairgrounds where there are events that have people not of this size, but of quite a large size. There are rafters here. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of chairs. I'd estimate the crowd here as thousands today. Nearly all of them, though, are now gone.
And as you were speaking, Scott, we saw photos of former President Trump up close, and you can see what you just described and what that eyewitness described to you as almost a teardrop type of bloodstream coming down his face, yet his fist was raised. He is defiant. He is defiant. There is that photo for you to see. Yep. We are also getting more and more statements pouring in, speaking to just the heightened level of emotion right now. We're hearing from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who, of course, her husband was attacked at their home. She wrote, "As one whose family has been the victim of political violence, I know firsthand that political violence of any kind has no place in our society. I thank God that former President Trump is safe."
There's anger, though, from the Trump side. This is a new social media post from Chris LaCivita, who is one of the top campaign advisors to Trump. He said they tried to keep Trump.
I hear nothing.
They tried to keep Trump off the ballot, and they tried to put him in jail, and now you see this. So you see a politically charged response from Chris LaCivita.
Taking it right to where Democrats are trying to prevent it from going. You saw former Speaker Pelosi issue a statement talking about the political violence her family had experienced and condemning it in this context and saying how glad she was that former President Trump is safe. You have the expectation that the White House will soon issue some kind of statement. We know that both the vice president and the president have been briefed on what's been going on. They themselves, of course, have Secret Service detail, and you have to imagine that there's an alert level across the board right now. But one of the things that we do need to pull back, that is just incredibly incendiary at a moment of incredible sensitivity to say something like that, to allege whatever they means. There's no context to who they are who are trying to keep them off the ballot, but they tried to put him in jail, and now you see this.
Trump's top campaign advisor in many ways.
Exactly. Those words have extreme weight. But if just to separate topic, very much related, the language around this campaign has been about us versus the system, me versus them, that all the legal cases against Donald Trump he claims are politically motivated to prevent him from re-election. By alleging that there is a connection to this attempt on his life, it would escalate that. That is Pennsylvania State Police put out a statement. Adriana, if you want to.
We have that right here. Pennsylvania State Police confirming everything that we have been reporting, that shots were fired at former President Donald Trump today during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It says that they don't have an update on former President Trump's condition, but we know from the Trump campaign, from the Secret Service, both have said that the president is safe. But we also don't know what safe means. Safe could be a lot of things. We did see in the video and the photos after this incident that the president had his fist in the air, that he appeared to have some blood on the side of his face. We don't know exactly what happened, if he was grazed or if it was worse. There we have that picture. His ear there, the top of his ear is red. But like you said, Margaret, now is a time to bring down the temperature and assess what happened, ensure that everyone is safe. Already, one person who went to this rally to support their guy is dead. That's the reporting that we're getting from our affiliate KDKA. You know, I'm just thinking about who that may have been, you know, what mindset they were in as they were going to this rally. Like you said earlier, Bob, people attend these events, you know, like they follow them across the country. His supporters are so passionate, and what can change in an instant?
It's so true. And the tension in this country has been so high. There has been such a concern about domestic violent extremism and political violence. So cooling tensions, cooling tempers is what you would hope leaders would do in this dangerous moment, because this, as you're alluding to there, these are passionate people who showed up at that rally. It's hot outside. They're standing there. They went through security. They are there because they love Donald Trump. And they are now being told by the head of his campaign that there is some kind of alleged connection between what just happened to the candidate and whoever they are. In that, I'm referring there to top Trump campaign official. I want to read to you what I'm getting texters on the ground who were saying. Olivia Rinaldi saying there was a palpable feeling of anger towards the media after this happened. The people in the crowd turned toward them. They started shouting, telling us it's our fault. It's a very tense environment. So what law enforcement will now do is try to prevent any kind of retaliation.
Exactly. And the agency right now at the center of this, on the scene, is the Secret Service, which is conducting a live investigation. I want to bring in CBS News contributor AP Smith, who was on the phone with us, a former Secret Service official. Can you hear me?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead. What are you hearing from your former colleagues about what may have transpired? And based on your training, what are agents focused on right now?
Well, obviously, securing that scene and beginning an investigation is the utmost important, but that follows only making sure that the former president is safe and that, he's now in hopefully a medical facility where things can be looked at. So there's probably multiple things going on at the same time. It looks like, from the standpoint of what we saw, the video and the pictures so far, that the Secret Service reacted in the way that they're trained to do. The counter-assault team, which you saw, the tactical team come up on stage, they're there to cover while the agents working the president either renders medical aid to him or evacuates him completely to get him out of harm's way. So all of that looks like it occurred in the way that it should have.
And AT, your former colleagues, the Secret Service trains for this. I mean, I've done reporting at their training facility here outside of Washington, where there is there's a site that's a replica of a city where they train in cars to see if there is an attack on the president. What do you do? Where do you go? How quickly do you respond? And what you describe shows that training kicking in. You see agents rushing the president off site. You see agents in plain clothes clearing the crowd. This is now a crime scene. We have video, cell phone video, showing someone who appears to be potentially the assailant, possibly on a roof. AT, talk to us about the security protocol when it comes to the area outside a perimeter and an open-air event like this. It's one thing to usher people through metal detectors and wad them down, but you can't control the sky. You can't control, parts of these areas that are outside the perimeter. How does the Secret Service account for that?
Well, and that's what the investigation probably will end up showing us. How far away was this assailant? What sort of access did he have? As you said, the security in these kinds of events, whether they're indoors or outdoors, or really, if you think of it, there are three concentric circles. There's an outer perimeter, a middle perimeter, and the innermost perimeter, which is closest to the protectee, the former president. So it will be interesting to see what the distances are here, and whether or not something nefarious occurred that they may